Hi, I'm Katie Youngman, Director of Community at the Magdalen House. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Dallas, Texas, and known affectionately by many as Maggie's. We are a recovery community for alcoholic women. April is Volunteer Appreciation Month, and we are celebrating our volunteers all month long. Without them, we would not be able to do the things we do each and every day. We're kicking things off with a special release of our podcast where we have asked a handful of our volunteers what they love about volunteering at Maggie's. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hello, my name is Kelly Williams, and I'm the Volunteer Program Manager here at the Magdalen House. I am sitting with a wonderful volunteer of ours. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, y'all, I'm Ashley Castleberry, grateful recovered alcoholic.
Ashley, what kind of positions do you have here at Maggie's? Like, what do you like to volunteer as?
Currently, my favorite would probably be overnighting. I'm able to spend time with the new women of the house and, be there for them as those who did for me when I've gone through the house.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what overnighting looks like? When I first started volunteering at the house, I had no idea what an overnight volunteer did.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, we're an extension of staff. We're able to, get to know the women, be an example of what recovery looks like, what being a recovered woman is, to be there, love on them, and essentially just help them follow the rules, get to learn the house, make sure that they're doing what they need to be.
Awesome. Do you do any other, I know that you chair meetings too, right?
Yes, I do. So I'm currently on the backup list, and I'm able to come up to the house and share my experience working steps 1 through 3, kind of hopefully break down the book and give ladies my perspective on the steps.
That's awesome. I love that. Do you have any memorable experiences here volunteering here? What sticks out to you the most?
I mean, there's so many great memories, but I think that the biggest thing is that I'm just able to see the ladies come into the house so broken, so desperate, pure terror, panic, scared, and within, being here for a couple of days, they get the hope back in their eyes. They start to come back alive. They're able to set aside all of those feelings, and it's replaced with love and compassion, and they see that there is hope, that there is a solution, there's a way out of that dark, terrifying place.
I love that. What is your favorite part about being a volunteer here? What does volunteering here mean to you?
It's a way to give back to the women that were here before me, to help the new ladies. I was given the solution for my life by the Magdalen House, by my sponsor that took me through the work. So how do you pay back something to that magnitude? Well, by showing up for the next woman, by taking others through the work, by being a part of something bigger than myself.
And you're an alumni here, right?
Correct, yes ma'am.
Did you go through First Step and Next Step?
I did. I went through both. Went through First Step a couple times and then went through Next Step a couple times as well. Next Step was such a game changer. It took the information that I've known about the program, but put it in a way that I could use consistently throughout my life.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sitting and talking with me, Ashley.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Okay, I am sitting next to a beautiful woman, all in pink with sparkly boots. Would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Of course I would. My name is Vicki Page, and I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic.
Vicki, can you tell me a little bit about how you volunteer here at Maggie's? So what different positions you have?
I can. Can I go back a little bit to where it all began?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, so I started in Next Step at Redwood Circle, which I did not want to do, and my sponsor said, "You will do it." And so I said, okay, and there were just 5 of us. I started out doing around the house, like cleaning, and I loved it, believe it or not. I don't like to clean, but I loved, that house was very special to me. So anyways, that's where I started, was just cleaning, and then I had every Sunday I did Trader Joe's. Loved it. I met some women there that didn't go through Maggie's, but just happened to be volunteering there. One still grooms my dogs. So we have maintained a friendship. Then it went from that to getting to overnight. And that was like a privilege I thought I would never have. I'm about to cry when I say that. Because truly, that was such a blessing. It was so amazingly humbling and wonderful, and a wonderful teacher of patience and loving tolerance, all those things that I never possessed ever before in my life. So for that, so grateful. So then we moved to the mansion, and yeah, I overnight here and love it. I started out with a really good friend of mine. We had such a great time, and she's moved on, and I'm so happy for her. Carrie, I have to mention her. But we had so much fun. But it was just a different experience because there were two of us. Mm-hmm. We each had these like memory foam mattresses. I overnight with Ashley now. Every night we overnight. We have the same conversation. We have got to get new mattresses at home. This is just like crazy. You know how well we sleep here. But it's a different experience. There are more women. But through overnighting, I've gotten sponsees that I've just been so amazingly blessed to work with. Just all the different types of women. And for me, I was 59 when I got sober this time, so I wasn't a baby. I'd made several runs at it before and just was so selfish in my not wanting to give. I just thought that not drinking was enough. Little did I know that there's so much more to it than that. I do adore being at this house. I love working in the office if they ask me to work in the office. I also love chairing meetings. That's a blast. I now I have a every week commitment. And I'm just like, when Brennan asked me, I was like, oh my God, I just could barely talk, because I wasn't expecting that. I was grateful, of course. But also I get the opportunity if someone's late or last minute, has a flat tire or whatever. I live just right up the road here. I can walk here from where I live. So I'm able to fill in, as needed. And that's a blessing. Everything about this place is a blessing to me, I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, if not for Maggie's and all of the opportunities, I know for sure I wouldn't be here today. No doubt in my mind.
Well, it goes both ways, right? Because we wouldn't be here without y'all, without our volunteers. So we are just as grateful for you guys, 100%.
And I feel that from you all. I truly do, especially you, Kelly, my friend. No, but I really do. I feel like it is this. I don't expect someone to come and say, oh, thank you so much for blah, 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 because truly, when I leave here I overnight on Sundays. When I leave here on Monday morning, I'm on a high I never got from alcohol, ever, ever, ever. I'm just so excited, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so tired. I need to go home and go to bed. And then I'm like, when I get home, I'm jumping up and down, because it's a real gift, and it's something that I will never take for granted, ever. Yeah. I'm truly grateful for the opportunities that Maggie's has given me.
Love that.
Yeah.
Vicki, tell me about your most memorable experience volunteering here as a volunteer.
I love being with the women here, especially the ones that just come in that are broken like I was. My God, I can so relate. Mm-hmm. And, I've been sober 3.5 years, which basically is a drop in the bucket. Rosie tells me I'm a toddler, mm-hmm. And that's okay. At least I'm walking. I'm not crawling anymore. But I'll say this is like on a side note that has to do with my family, but with everything that happened with my kids and with my grandson and all of that, had I not had this place and my friends that reached out to me, for the first time I ever said, I'm grateful I'm an alcoholic. I used to say grateful I'm recovered, but I don't know how grateful I am. I'm a drunk. But, I was so grateful. And with everything that I learned here from you guys and Teresa and everybody else, I realized that, I didn't have to drink over this. And that was the strangest feeling ever. I mean, I fell to my knees and then, just was like overwhelmed with joy because had it not been for the opportunities that I'd been given here, I wouldn't have felt. I came up here.
I remember that. And you said
came up here, and that is not me. I really would have laid in my bed and cried all day. But I didn't. I just had so many people reach out to me. I was like, I got to go to Maggie's. I got to be with these women. I got to be with my people. Yeah. And that's what really and truly, was such a huge benefit of already having a connection here through volunteering. So.
Oh, Vicki.
Love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for coming and meeting with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Loved every minute of it. I love you too.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mandy Turnbaugh.
I'm so glad you could meet with us today. Can you tell me what volunteer positions do you have here at the Magdalen House?
So I've been volunteering here for quite a bit and been able to do so many amazing things here. If I start crying, I'm sorry. I've gone from doing yoga, leading yoga, which is fantastic, and the meditation with the women, to overnighting, cleaning out the cupboards and deep cleaning the kitchen, to volunteering to lead meetings here, which I'm so grateful for.
Mandy, when did you start volunteering? Do you remember, or can you tell me a little bit about how it felt to start volunteering here first, when you first started volunteering?
About 250 years ago, it seems like. I started volunteering the second I got out of the house. Maggie's was an early sobriety lifeline to me, and I have 18 months, and it's still such an important part of my recovery. Being able to build relationships with the women that are in the house and also the women that keep coming back to volunteer is so important to me. I think that some days, even when I don't want to be here and I'm here, I always change my mind because I love being here with you guys. And I love being able to give back what was so freely given to me. My goal at first was to just reimburse Maggie's the amount of money it took to send me through First Step, the 200 times I was through First Step. And that was my goal. And that's what motivated me to come up here, and I didn't want to drink and die. And I just didn't stop. And that's not my goal anymore. My goal is to get to know the women that are here and to, again, just give back what was so freely given me.
Love that. I love that so much. Can you tell me what your most memorable experience has been here as a volunteer?
Yes, actually, yes. So the very first night I was in the house here on Gaston, I came into the house kind of like we all do. I was a little tipsy and did not hear them I didn't hear anything really, but I didn't hear about the alarm system. And so the very first night I was here, I don't think she would mind me saying her name, but Andrea Williamson was overnighting, and I set off the alarm and didn't realize that I had set it off because that's just how into myself I was. But anyway, and then exactly 1 year later, I overnighted with Andrea on my 1 year birthday. God's got jokes. And she looked at me and she said, if the alarm goes off tonight, it's on you. You can handle it. But that's the thing that I love about Maggie so much is these women are my family. And it's the joy of my life to be here.
That's a wonderful, hilarious memory. I love that they can be like happy or funny. That's just my favorite. I love it. One last thing. What is your favorite part about being a volunteer here?
For me, I overnight, not only because I love it, but because it reminds me I'm one drink away from being back here. And I never forget. The book talks about how before we work the steps and have that spiritual experience that we can't bring back into mind with sufficient force the humiliation and the memory just a week or a month ago. And that's true in recovery for me too. Like I don't close the door on the past, but I don't morbidly reflect, but being here just reminds me of how desperate I was. And that, again, you guys you put my hand in God's. And I truly believe that Maggie's is God's house. And I see that when I'm here. And I'm reminded of that when I'm here. I live pretty far away, and I'm probably here more than you guys want me to be here, just because I love you guys so much, and I love this house and what it stands for.
Thank you so much for chatting with us today and for being one of our amazing volunteers. We couldn't do what we do without y'all. So thank you so much, Mandy.
Thank you so much.
I am sitting here with one of the most loveliest ladies that I know. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Diane Gillum.
Awesome. Hi, Diane. What type of positions do you have here as a volunteer at the Magdalen House?
Currently, I chair volunteer chair meetings bi-weekly on Fridays at 2:30, and then also overnight volunteering, and then just miscellaneous around the house needs and stuff, whatnot.
Cool. Do you remember what your first volunteer position was, or one of the first ones? What did you start doing? Because I know you were you're a First Step alumni, right? Yeah. So when you got into the house, how did you first get involved?
I first got involved. I think that one of the first things I did was volunteer to bring a meal up here one day, because I remember how nice it was when like we were in the house, the ladies in the house, and you get like a nice home cooked meal to eat that night or whatnot. It was good. And I think after that it was chairing meetings probably.
I remember just recently during the freeze that we had, everyone was super happy because you cooked a meal for the ladies, right?
Technically, I didn't cook it. It was just I had a thought because I selfishly wanted gumbo, and so I was up here. But there was one of the girls in the house that knew how to make gumbo, and so but we were gonna go off a recipe, but she knew how to do it from heart, and so it all came out great. I went and got the ingredients, and it was a delicious meal.
I love it. I know.
On a cold day.
I heard about it. So, your daughter volunteers here too, right?
Yes, Haley.
What does she do?
She does around the house. She'll do she really likes to organize things. So they had her come in and do like the pantry closet storage. So she organized that, and she does a lot of like the Trader Joe's. She likes to do the babysitting for birthday nights.
Yeah, the childcare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she loves little kids. So
that's perfect. We appreciate her help so much.
She's even brought in a friend with her best friend, to help too. So that's cool.
That's so cool. Yeah. I love that. Tell me, what's your most memorable experience about volunteering here?
It would be overnighting. You want just one experience or just in general?
Sure, you can do both.
So it would be overnighting, because I remember being in the house and seeing women come through that had the same issues and problems that I have, and seeing that it was a possibility to be recovered. So
that's awesome. What's your favorite part about being a volunteer here?
Staying connected with past women and future women coming in. That's probably one of my favorite.
I love it. What would you say to a new volunteer about what to expect about volunteering here, why they should get involved, whether they're alcoholic or not? What would you say to them? It's a toughie. I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that is a toughie. For me, it helps get me out of myself. So when I'm like going through some things or whatnot, I find somebody else or something I can do to help. And Maggie's is always here. And so that can go for an alcoholic or a non-alcoholic. Doing something selfless for somebody else does good things. So,
Diane, you said you were a meeting chair here. Tell me a little bit about that. What's your experience with chairing meetings here?
So I really like doing that because it gets me connected with women that are in a house. We can go over, we usually do like a big book study. And I remember when women would come through the house and do that from when we were in there, because you read that book, a lot of the times it doesn't make any sense to somebody that's newly getting sober. But it's really nice to have somebody point out and like, this is what it actually means in depth. So that's what I really like to do. And also it's part of my service work of carrying the message to other alcoholics that are still suffering. So
I love that. And you've been through the house. Have you gone through any of the other programs here?
I did Next Step and graduated.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have any parting shots? Anything about volunteering that you would like to shout out or anything like that?
Just get involved some way or another. It doesn't take much if it comes down to like just donating some things for the house, that's enough even. You know, you don't have to put in like the hours and time. If you can't come overnight, you can always drop off or you don't even have to do it. You can have Amazon drop off a package of paper towels or toilet paper or whatnot that they may need.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Diane, for coming in today. We love you so much.
Love y'all.
All right. I'm sitting here today with a wonderful member of our community. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Lucinda Buford.
Awesome, Lucinda. And how long have you been volunteering with Maggie's?
I would say it'll be about 4 years this summer.
That's awesome. Do you remember, you were just our volunteer of the month, and I know we asked you these questions in your blog, but do you remember what you first started doing when you started volunteering at the Magdalen House?
I started, as most of us do, because I'm a good friend of Lisa Cronke's. And so she was instrumental in directing my path when I needed healing as a family member. And so that really gave me an opportunity to begin to give back, and to begin to give back through family support and through mentoring, sponsoring other family members, and then also just realizing needs around the house and being able to just gather supplies and go to events and just be just kind of in the background helping out to learn what was going on.
I love that. You mentioned family support. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Well, we've got meetings on Wednesday night that are live, and then we've also got meetings that you can Zoom on Thursday. And what that means is it's a great place to come if you have no idea what to do. You are stumped. You love someone and you don't understand. And that, which is exactly where I was. I love an alcoholic and didn't know what my role in that was, and didn't realize how the roles I was taking were not helping their healing. And so it was a fantastic education for me to learn about how to keep my side of the street clean and how to heal myself so that I could be supportive and loving regardless of their outcome.
I love that. You know what's so cool is like a lot of people come to the Magdalen House to get involved, but they end up finding a community. So a community of other alcoholics or a community of family members, which I think is so cool.
I love that too. I think that's phenomenal. And being on the board of directors, we have an incredible board, and I've gotten to meet so many interesting people. It's very diverse, which I love because we all bring different gifts and strengths and abilities. And it's such a welcoming place to give that I've loved it.
Awesome. Can you tell me what your most memorable experience about volunteering here has been? Putting you on the spot there.
Yes, there have been so many. I would say working on some of the events and the development side, working on Leave a Legacy. The first one that we did at the Rustic was just so much fun with the Love Junkies, and just the feeling in the place and the feeling of we brought some people that knew nothing about the disease of alcoholism but knew alcoholics. And to be able to witness that in a fun, relaxed atmosphere was just great. So I think that was something. I think anytime you are with someone, and for me it's on the family side, and you see the light bulb go off and you see the awareness and the spiritual awakening, it just gives you chills because it just brings you all together and makes you a part of the total healing community.
It sounds like you help in a lot of different capacities. Would you just tell us how many different or what kind of different ways you volunteer here?
I serve on the board of directors. I'm the development liaison. And so that means that I am aware of all of the different fundraisers and are aware of how they tie into the budget and make sure that works. A second thing that I've done is I've started a group called the Serenity Circle, which we are so excited about because it provides an opportunity for people that may or may not be alcoholic to support the house. Because that was one thing I realized when I came in, is there were so many things not being an alcoholic that I wasn't able to be a part of, which I completely respect. But there are ways I wanted to help. I love alcoholics, and I'm a good helper. That's what we Al-Anon people are. We help people. And so it has been a great resource to build awareness, and again, to build awareness in the community about the disease of alcoholism and to remove the stigma and to raise funds, gather supplies, bring in volunteers, do different things to help the house. Another thing is when we consider growing in different capacities, that's something that I help with. So it's fun to look into different opportunities as well.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, can you tell me what your favorite part about being a volunteer here is? Also putting you on the spot.
Yes, gosh, the favorite. Again, I think it's just such a warm and loving environment. It's given me a place where I can get out of myself, out of my own things, and enriches my life. I think it makes me a better person. It makes me a better family member, a better wife, everything, because you tap into that side of your mind and your spirit. And I think once you do that, it gradually softens and you do it more and more, and it just grows. So I would encourage anybody to start that process. It's just ongoing and life affirming. I think it's great.
I love it. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to talk about, or any additional questions that you'd like me to ask? Anything?
No, I don't think so. I would just welcome anyone to go to the website, take a look. We would love your help in the Serenity Circle as we, again, build awareness about the disease and present different volunteer opportunities, and more will be coming about that. So I would welcome anyone to do that and come volunteer at Maggie's. You'll be glad you did.
I love it. Thank you so much, Lucinda. Thanks
You're
for meeting with
welcome.
us.
Thanks for being here.
This has been a special release for Volunteer Appreciation Month of the Magdalen House podcast. From all of us here at Maggie's, thank you to each of our volunteers for how you support us every day. We truly appreciate all that you do to help alcoholic women achieve sobriety and sustain recovery. Tune in every Wednesday for a new podcast release from one of our 4 series. To learn more about the Magdalen House and the services we offer, visit magdalenhouse.org or follow us on your favorite social media channels.